Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the planet Uranus entering in Gemini. So this video may be a little bit longer than what I usually do, just to let you know, because there's a lot of information that I want to give you. And first, we're going to go through like basically the mundane level, and then the individual ascendants. So the ingress of Uranus in Gemini is on July 8th, 2025 through November 8th of 2025. And it will go up to 1 degree and 57 minutes in the sign of Gemini. Then it retrogrades back to Taurus, and then it goes back to Gemini on April 27th of 2026 to stay there for 7 years until May 22nd of 2033, and then it'll proceed to go to Cancer. As a reminder, it takes Uranus 84 years to go around the zodiac, all 12 signs. Now, this Uranus in Gemini is going to be sextiled by Neptune in Aries. And Pluto, which is in Aquarius, will make a trine to this Uranus. Saturn also makes a sextile for the next 24 months or so, because Saturn moves faster than Uranus. So for the next couple of years, this should be a pretty nice, setup, right? Uranus in Gemini, Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius. Now, let's go over what Uranus like keywords are, right? It's everything that's different. It's innovation, originality, unconventional things, protests, rebellion, revolution, freedom. It has a lot to do with like electrical engineering, explosion, nuclear energy, airplanes, bombs, new technology, communism as well. Now, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and Gemini is the third sign in a natal chart. So kind of like both of these go together, right? So what does Gemini or Mercury rule, right? Gemini rules the mind, the speech, your thoughts, the third house, siblings, extended family, like aunts, uncles, cousins, your neighborhood. The internet. It used to be Aquarius when it was a, new technology, but now like an everyday thing is ruled by Gemini. Cars, computers, phones, bicycles. Mercury rules communication, transportations of all means, right? Short trips, documentation, well, documents like your driver's license, your passports, your IDs, early childhood. Third house is early childhood. Books, magazines, newspapers. That's what Mercury rules in the sign of Gemini. So when you put these both together, Uranus is going to bring changes to all Gemini things. So that's why we're seeing electrical cars, flying cars, right? And maybe they'll come up with like a faster bicycle as well, or maybe even a flying bicycle, who knows? So your passport, driver's license, IDs, books, magazines, newspapers will be most likely fully electronic by the end of the transit. Maybe your ID going forward is going to be your fingerprints, because Gemini rules the hands, right? And the fingers. So this is what I'm thinking might happen. This also means, unfortunately, no more bookstores, because or physical books. I suggest that any books that you want to buy, you do so in the very near future. Probably like Barnes and Noble and your local bookstore. are going to go out of business, unfortunately, because everything is going to transition to digital. Libraries, yeah, they may become fully digital, but I don't know if they're going to be, closed because, libraries in different communities offer different things, right? It's a place where people get together for even like social events. Um, Changes to early education. This one is going, yeah, I'm so glad I don't have small kids nowadays. Oof. Maybe early education will be just using tablets. They won't teach children how to write anymore, just type. Right? Because if everything's going to be electronic, then there's really no need to write. Or maybe AI will just do everything for them, right? They just show the kids how to use AI, not to mention, of course, ChatGPT, but it remains to be seen what happens with early education. Um, there can be issues, Uranus and Gemini, with bridges, with streets, subways, trains, transport systems, either breaking down or attacks, either a cybersecurity or like a real attack, right? Like on our electric grid specifically, um, you know, not only for those systems, but the electric grid for any country. Now, to give you a little bit and just a really small amount of history, the last two times that Uranus was in Gemini, it coincided with war for the United States. Uh, we're talking about the Civil War, which was 1861 to 1865, and World War II, 1941 to 1945. Um, you might want to look up in your country what happened during those years. Also, the transit of Uranus through Gemini was from 1774 through 1782, which was the American Revolutionary War. I know France had something going on as well. Um, so this means that the US is going to go through its Uranus return. Every 84 years, the US goes through the Uranus return. And then, you know, wars happen. Other things happen as well. But Uranus in the Sibley chart of the United States is going to go through the sixth house. So the United States is going to experience changes in the healthcare system and also work. Remember, sixth house is your daily routine, what you do for, your daily job. Um, and obviously, you don't need an astrologer to tell you this. There's a threat of war, whether it's a new holy war, Neptune and Aries, or World War III, like, tensions with Russia and the Ukraine are not going to go away. I don't know why not. I thought that with the eclipses happening in Virgo, since Russia is Pisces, I thought, there's a good chance that the Ukraine thing could end, but it doesn't look like. And not to mention that China will invade Taiwan, and Australia is up for grabs too, which is concerning. Um, and I'm thinking probably for the fall, September, those eclipses might trigger something. God willing, it doesn't, but I'm just giving you the historical perspective so that that way, you're aware. Now, the risks are greater now because we got bigger toys, right? We got nuclear bombs, fusion bombs, chemical warfare, you name it, right? Maybe that's why the UFO sightings have increased. I don't follow those stories, but I do see them on YouTube, right? Uh, but given the historical events, war is very possible. Again, check your country's history on what happened during those years that I mentioned for repeating patterns, because that's most likely that's what's going to happen. Now, if the United States gets attacked, I think they are going to go for the electricity grid. Nuclear power plants are fair game because, Uranus rules nuclear energy. Navy, if you in the armed forces, the Navy is in danger because of Neptune and Aries. Neptune is the sea, Aries is war. So I would take the necessary precautions as a citizen as much as you can to prepare, if you deem feasible, for, it could also be, not just war, but there are earthquakes that can happen big time. There's Uranus just shakes everything up, right? So, and then we have Neptune, um, what do you call it, transiting very close to the fixed star sheet. So there's danger in the water, in the ocean. The hurricanes are going to be much stronger. There's a risk for tsunamis, for typhoons, things of that nature, for flooding as well. So I don't mean to be depressing. I swear I don't mean to be depressing. I'm just letting the possibilities of what can happen. We can always pray and hopefully none of this will happen, but just so you know. All right, so let's go through Uranus in Gemini for the 12 ascendants, which, it can bring a lot of good as well, changes. Now, for Aries, Uranus is going to be in Gemini and it will transit your third house. So talk about changing your mind, right? No, it's a joke. Um, but you may have a complete change in the way you think about things, a new, different, out of the blue ideas, innovative ideas. Your communication might be total, like people might not even know. It's like, oh, what happened to her or him, right? Um, Maybe as simple as you take a new route to work. There can be an interest in studying astrology, especially with that trine in Pluto in Aquarius, right? Aquarius rules astrology. Um, you could change your car. You can change your phone, your computer. You may decide to take short courses on the internet, learning new technology, Uranus, electricity, computer programming, cybersecurity are just some of the topics that I can think of. Like I said, your communication style will change, the way you write, the way you speak, the way you present. Um, like business proposals will be more unique, more different, a little bit on the unusual side, right? It will be, you're gonna surprise a lot of people. All right, so Taurus. For Taurus, Uranus is entering your second house. Second house, of course, is the money that you make from the work that you do. It's what you eat. It's also what you value. So the way you make money will change over the next 7 years. There are new and exciting ways to make money. Gemini is always two, so perhaps you get a part-time job or maybe you change positions at work, which require a little bit more techie skills, right? Uranus is the planet of being unpredictable, so I can tell you this, there will be some instability. So money will go up and down with your income, especially if you have any planets in Gemini. So you can change jobs, change careers. Maybe the way you get paid, second house changes. Maybe you get a bonus. Like maybe let's say your employer establishes some kind of goal, and if you meet the goal, you get $100 bonus or a $500 bonus or something like that. Maybe if you get paid on a salary basis, maybe you go to hourly or vice versa. If you're hourly, you can go to salary or maybe salary plus bonus. Sudden gains and losses are possible because Uranus again is unpredictable. Also, things that you once valued may change and other things become more important. And like I said, remember that the second house also rules the assets that you have. So you may want to purchase expensive things, or maybe you can even change the way you eat and try new foods, foreign foods, spicy foods, something with what you eat can change. For Gemini, for Gemini, Uranus and Gemini will transit your first house. So Gemini, get ready. You will be unrecognizable over the next 7 years. Your appearance, physical body, lifestyle, your attitude towards life will completely change. You will crave freedom, Uranus. Remember that the trine to Pluto remember that the trine to Pluto in Aquarius will emphasize the need for freedom. Your life can dramatically change. If you're single, you can get married. If you're married, you can get a divorce, unfortunately, because when you have any sign in your first house, it opposes the seventh house, and Uranus is the ruler of divorce. So either you get married or you get divorced. Those are the possibilities. Now, not to say that every Gemini rising is going to get divorced, because, you have to see your natal chart, but I'm just saying, based on the transit, this is what can happen, right? Uranus speeds things up a bit. So if it makes an aspect to your natal Mercury, be careful with driving too fast and be careful with car accidents. With Uranus, things happen, suddenly out of the blue, unexpected. It's a surprise. So keep that in mind, right? If you have Mars in the first house, like if one of the planets that you have is Mars in the first house, you're usually natally very fast at doing things. So now you're going to be super fast, speed of light, right? To get things done. So that is Uranus for you. Cancer. Cancer with Uranus in the 12th house. This is going to be a very interesting transit for you. When Uranus is in any house, it shakes up things a lot. So in the 12th house, things are hidden. So secrets can come out. So if you're doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing doing, drugs, love affairs, something illegal, it will be known. So if I were you, I would end it now. You may, on a positive note, you may want to do some volunteer work, right? For charity, for a church, for an animal shelter. If you have Venus there in the 12th house natally, there's a chance for a secret romance or a behind the scenes business deal. For Leo, rising, Uranus is going to go into your 11th house. This is a great transit. You can make a lot of new friends. Although, some friends may leave, maybe they move away. Like, there can be changes with your friends' lives as well. They can be getting married, getting divorced, having a baby, moving away because they got a job somewhere else. So the lives of your friends, you will see changes. But on the other hand, very unique, different type of people can come into your life. Your social life is going to change as well. You can join new groups, new social groups. Get out of the other ones that that no longer interest you, no longer serve you. Also, there can be a lot of changes with your hopes, your dreams. Um, and 11th house rules retirement. So you may decide to just retire if, age appropriate, of course. Virgo. Virgo, Uranus is going through your 10th house. So this is one of the angles of the chart, right? So, by the way, the signs most affected are going to be Gemini, is going to be Virgo, is going to be Sagittarius, and Pisces. Those are the four that are gonna get, because those are the angles of the chart. I should have said that at the introduction, but anyway. So Uranus in Gemini will transit your 10th house. So this can bring a total career change. Changes in your business, changes in your status in society. Maybe you're getting married, getting divorced, having a baby. It can also bring changes with your parents that are unexpected. This can happen too because the parental houses are the 10th and the 4th, right? So Uranus is opposing the 4th. So that's why I'm saying that your parents can also be affected. Career-wise, it can bring a promotion all of a sudden. A new client that really changes the income for your company can come out of the blue. The opposite is true as well. You can lose a client that, is a major source of income. So just be mindful of, what I'm saying. All right, so Libra. Libra, this Uranus entering Gemini is going to transit your 9th house, which is a very favorable transit because it is a trine. The air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, will receive this Uranus as a good transit. So, 9th house, there can be a change in your spiritual beliefs or religion. Unexpected long distance travel can just pop up suddenly, or maybe you can have visitors coming to see you, visitors from a foreign country, 9th house, right? You may begin your university studies for the United States. It's this fall, or unfortunately, you can also, which I hope this is not the case, you can drop out of school or maybe just change majors to something completely different. Uranus, you're going to change everything. Scorpio. Scorpio, for you, the transit of Uranus in Gemini will be through your 8th house. There will be financial changes in your joint finances. So if you are married or you're in a partnership, your partners or joint finances can fluctuate. So that's something that you need to, watch, keep an eye out. If you're single, then it's your financial investments that can fluctuate. So keep an eye out for that as well. There can be a sudden death, not yours, around your environment, or a surprise inheritance. Could also be a surprise debt, like, you owe more taxes or something like that. Um, on another note, there could be bonuses, commissions, alimony payments, child support payments, money that comes in lump sums, like an insurance claim. Yeah, that's all I can think about right now. Scorpio, this can also lead to a surprise pregnancy, 8th house rules pregnancy. So if you were looking for a baby, great. If not, take the necessary precautions so that you don't get pregnant. Remember, this transit is for 7 years, so the possibility is for 7 years. Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, Uranus will transit your 7th house. This can be a very life-changing transit for you, for your long-term relationships. If single, you may meet, your future spouse, in love, or in business, maybe you can meet somebody else, a business partner that, you guys hit it off and it's great. If you are married, there are changes in the marriage. You can separate, but many times in reality, I see a lot of people getting divorced. Now, does that mean that every Sagittarius is going to get divorced? No, it depends on your natal chart, right? And for a prediction to come true, you need to get 3 hits. This is just one. This is just a transit. But this can also be a love at first sight, Uranus. And if it aspects your natal Venus, the person you meet though may not be around for a long time. And the meeting is going to happen out of the blue, suddenly, unexpectedly. Maybe you're stepping into the elevator at work and it's like, wow, you see somebody that just like, it's unexpected. A Capricorn. Capricorn, for you, Uranus and Gemini will transit your sixth house. So this is a house of work, of health, of daily routines. So there can be changes at work with your coworkers, perhaps your actual workspace as well. Maybe you're moving offices. Um, you may be interested in changing jobs as well. Careful with your pets because one can leave, like for example, during a thunderstorm, Uranus, or a new pet may suddenly show up in your front yard as well. With Uranus, there can be new technology that's required for work. Maybe your workplace is transitioning from one accounting system to another, or maybe they're implementing like a new computer program for like medical charts or something like that that you will need to learn. Health-wise, a sudden ailment can come up and then just disappear, right? You can have changes in your health routine. Hopefully, exercise too. Like you decide to start eating healthier, to start exercising. The one thing you need to slow down in your decision-making process because you can be very impulsive, especially when it comes to work. Aquarius. Aquarius, Gemini, Uranus and Gemini will transit your fifth house. Whoops, like this. So fifth house, I really like this transit for you. It can bring excitement to your romantic life, vacation, fun, and also with your children. You can meet someone completely unexpected, love at first sight. One big event that can happen, you can have a baby, especially if it's your firstborn. So if you're not looking to get pregnant, be careful. Unexpected pregnancies can happen. And remember that the transit is for 7 years. So if you are wanting to get pregnant, then this is a great time to practice doing that. There can be changes, like I said, in your firstborn's life as well. Like maybe they're going to high school or they're going to college, something like that. Um, Pisces. For Pisces, where's Pisces? Goodness, here we go. Pisces. For Pisces, Uranus in Gemini is your fourth house. So for Pisces, this is one of the angles of your chart, because it's a square. So you may move residences, you may be moving from where you live. If you don't move, then you maybe can redecorate, remodel your home, move your furniture around. Maybe people can be moving in with you or moving out of your home. There can also be changes with your parents' lives as well. They can, like, for example, they can retire all of a sudden and say, hey, we're moving back in with you, or we need to move in with you because, we decided to retire. If transit Uranus is aspecting your natal moon, your emotions are going to be all over the place. Just there won't, your emotional status will go up and down big time. Talk about mood shifts. If it aspects Mercury, careful with car accidents, eh, especially close to, like when you're approaching your home, fourth house. There could be car repairs as well. Uranus aspecting Mars also talks about accidents at home, because if your natal Mars is in Gemini, be careful with accidents in the house, or even fire in the house, an electrical fire, because it's a Uranus. So, and Uranus rules electricity. So make sure that all is good at home. So this concludes the video. Like I said, I think this is a little bit longer than what I usually do, but there was a lot of information to give out. As always, thank you for watching. If you have liked the video, even though it was a little depressing at the beginning, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send it to somebody that it may help, so that way the person knows what's coming up in the next 7 years. If you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.